What's up, party people? My name is Christopher Alexander Robert Clark-Youngblood. Today is the first Saturday, September, Saturday, August 1st, 2026. It is currently 10:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let me check out my visual appearance. Yikes. I mean, it looks pretty good, I guess. I washed my hair this morning. That was the big thing I did today. I washed my hair. Looks a lot less greasy than last week. I'm already pitting the fuck out of this tank top. As you can see, massive sweat stains in the armpit area of this gray tank top. But other than that, we're good to go here, guys. We're not here for, this isn't porn, all right? At least not yet. It's a podcast. This is a source of knowledge and truth about the universe. Today we get into week 3. Week 3? I'm retarded. Week 11. You can tell like I have no plan. Every time I turn this fucking thing on, I'm like, wait a second, what am I about to talk about? And then like the only thing I know I'm gonna talk about is cosmology, which I really don't fucking know anything about. I'm about to talk about like quasars and galactic mergers. It's like every time I start talking, I'm like, wait, am I really about to do this? It's like going to a jiu-jitsu match or something. Like, oh, I'm gonna fight this guy, or I'm gonna grapple against this guy. Oh, I guess we're doing this. Anyway, here we go, and I'm like increasingly sweating. Like the moisture, the signs of moisture on this gray shirt are just increasing with every passing second. You can see my nipple. It's too distracting to have myself in front of me. I'm gonna go back to my notes. Week 11 of the Cosmic Calendar, boys and girls. We're breaking down the history of the universe into 52 parts as if the entire universe was born within 1 year, each week studying roughly 300 million years in cosmic history. But this is week 11, meaning we are going to be studying this week 3.0 billion years of the universe's existence to 3.3 billion years of the universe's existence. Once again, I'm breaking this all down into very kind of digestible, objective, concrete bites, as if like all of this is settled knowledge that's like written down in textbooks and is infallible, when it's really, dude, this is just what I have access to with my primitive tools and technologies, with my puny little brain on this puny little planet inside of a massive universe. And I think some of the stuff I'm going to talk about this week with regard to the history of the universe, really like the one point I want to emphasize this week reveals, and hopefully is illustrative of the fact that like we don't know dick, dude. And I'm hoping with my ramblings each week, I'm starting to paint the picture, at least solidified, that obviously in my mind, listen, take whatever I say with a grain of salt, or I'm just a crazy person. Maybe you watch or listen to this to just see, the degeneration of a man in 2026 as he's like losing his mind. I think quite the opposite, actually. I think I'm not degenerating, but regenerating my knowledge and relearning, re-educating myself outside the confines of the traditional education system and the things that we've been told by authority figures and institutions that really don't know what they're talking about in a lot of ways. I think much of what, I don't want to say nothing is as it seems, because I think some things are as they seem. I think your mom is your mom, your dad is your dad, your friend is your friend, your love is love, people you love is love. But I think a lot in this existence is not as it seems. I heard someone just express, like, just toss around this concept in your head for a second, just as like, I don't know, a brain opener or whatever, or like an intellectual warm-up. What if dreams are base reality? And I'm not saying I think this, but just like, once again, as like an intellectual warm-up, as a stretching of your mind, what if dreams are base reality? And what we know is like tangible reality, what is happening right now as you're listening to this, or as I'm recording this, or as my dog is barking outside, that's actual like the projection. What if like consciousness is a universal thing that doesn't necessarily exist in like a centralized way, but like in an infinite way everywhere, and each of us is just like an individual manifestation of that universal consciousness. And perhaps when we dream, or when we sleep, or when we meditate, or when we die, or when whatever, that's actually closer to the source of reality than what is like this very organized, physical, material world that we live in. Perhaps that's just our own kind of physiological, neurological interpretation of the broader universal consciousness, and that it manifests itself in tables and chairs in 2026 on planet Earth and so on. Anyway, that's like a very amorphous concept, but I think we really, all of us need to start opening our brains. Our brains are very locked into this very narrow pathway of thinking that the universe is 14 billion years old, which is what I'm espousing, ironically. I really don't think it is. I think that is what we know that it is. I think as humanity and human beings right now, and me and my individual effort right now, is like I have a flashlight that I'm shining into the darkness to reveal like truth and information about the world we live in, right? I'm like in this, let's just say, exist in this like this world of darkness, but you have a flashlight or you have fire, and it starts to light up the world around you. So you're starting to gather information about the world around you. But what lies beyond what your light is revealing? Or another analogy, if you're like a car going down the road on a dark night and your headlights are revealing what is in front of you. But that is, what you can see is not all that there is. It's only what you can see. So I think studying cosmology, right? I'm espousing that like every time I go on research, right? It says that the universe is 13.8 billion years old. I always kind of reference it's 14 billion years old. I don't think it really is. I just think that we can see 13.8, 14 billion years back into the past. That our current flashlight that we shine back into the darkness of the past reveals 13.8 billion years of history. But that's only because we have a flashlight that is capable of revealing that far back. I think it's infinitely far back, as if perhaps it never ended. And I think our flashlight is only revealing like what our flashlight is capable of revealing. And I think with time, the flashlight will grow way more powerful, and we will learn that there's way more going on here than meets the eye. And not just in like the physical structures of the cosmological structure of the universe, but like inside your own mind. What is consciousness? What is your relationship with other human beings? What is your relationship with other specific other entities that could potentially be out there? I think there's way more, not to mention like all of the facade that and kind of lies and deceit and facades that have actually been constructed in what we know as tangible reality here on Earth. There's like the broader, ethereal, esoteric questions of like who are we, what is God, what is consciousness? There's like these super broad questions, right? And I think at that level, nothing is as it seems. Like we really don't know. But then you like narrow it down to like here, quote unquote, on Earth on this couch level, or like what's going on in my community here in Burbank level. I think in this tangible local reality, individual reality, a lot is not as it seems too. Both in like fraudulent businesses, what the government did with COVID, just as like tangible real world examples. So like on a broad level, I believe the universe is way bigger than, or older or bigger than 14 billion years, right? That's like this super macro level that nothing is as it seems. And then on this micro level, I also believe that the government killed JFK. Perhaps they were involved in 9/11. Certainly our own governments were involved within the creation of COVID and the perpetuation of the lockdowns and the near forcible vaccination of the global population with an experimental and perhaps dangerous drug. These are all just, little examples that are also going on in local reality, that things are not as it seems. And perhaps it's not all bad, right? It's not, I don't want to like say it's all bad. It's easy to point to bad things, but like also we're probably intimately connected like telepathically, and we have telepathic powers that can be used for good. Our hearts, our souls are connected. Love. What is love in connection to another human being? Is it just like your own social addiction to another human? Is it just your brain's kind of neurological wiring to make sure you care for your offspring? Or is there something much deeper going on there as far as love and our interconnectedness with one another? Also, like, I believe the human lifespan is way has way greater potential than 75 to 100 years, right? I think we probably have the potential within our own physiology to live 200, 300, perhaps. I think infinite life is, immortality is probably a possibility as well. So there are good things to be revealed as well. I think we live with blinders on in a lot of ways. And of course, I've also mentioned, bigger, back to macro level concepts of like, did we evolve from fucking shrews and monkeys to this? Just over the course of hundreds of millions of billions of years of evolution, we evolved from single-celled organisms until fucking crazy 38-year-old men are smoking weed and talking into a microphone and exploring the nature of their own consciousness and nature of their own existence as a species? Or did something intercede to get us from monkey throwing its own shit to super genius creating rockets blasting off in outer space? I think something interceded, dude. I think we're probably edited. I think I've talked about this before. I think our genetics was probably altered by some other species. I think human beings are probably a hybrid of like traditional earthling mammalian genetics, chimpanzee, for instance, and something much greater, more powerful, more intelligent, i.e. extraterrestrial. Or ultra-terrestrial, or extratemporal. This is a new concept I'm coming across, extratemporal, and this is a concept that I've thought of and explored and heard of and kind of come up with my own mind years ago, but you just kind of like, in the constant questioning and exploration of reality, you kind of forget certain ideas that like, the aliens that we're seeing, the traditional gray, skinny alien with like the big head and big black eyes and then spindly, skinny body with no reproductive organs. That kind of seems like us from the future. If you take like caveman, Neanderthal, badass MMA fighter, like ultimate physical human, and then compare it and then position that individual next to like, I don't know, NFL football player. And then put that person next to like a spindly gray alien. Like what is the comparison that you see? Well, you see their head is getting bigger because their brain is getting bigger, but their bodies are getting weak and more feeble. The reproductive organs are disappearing. And bro, I know I live in LA for the past 6 years, but that's what's happening to human beings. I can tell you, men specifically, in my geographic location, are skinnier, more feeble, more feminized than they were just 20 years ago when I was growing up. And perhaps so I think, we're progressing from deeply physical caveman who rely on our physicality to survive to human beings today. You don't need any physicality. You don't need to fight or hunt or engage in warfare in order to survive. You need to use your brain. So your brains get bigger, your body gets smaller, and I think that's what we're progressing to, is these like gray, skinny aliens. And so these aliens, if they're coming back and abducting people or appearing on Earth or whatever, appearing in people's dreams or imaginations, once again, they don't have to abduct you or visit us, quote unquote, other species of beings in like physical reality. They could come visit you via mind or whatever, dude. We don't even know that the other dimensions might not be out there. So you can encounter these beings or entities or life forms, whatever, in non-physical ways. Not they have to be sitting in front of you, like at your living room at your dining room table, eating fried chicken and waffles or something. But yeah, these spindly gray aliens, I think that's what we may be evolving towards in the future. And I think perhaps they are time travelers coming back to visit us. So if you are visited by a fucking gray alien in your sleep, that dude might be coming back from the future, because that's what we evolve to in the future. And they're just coming back. A lot of people speculate they're coming back because they need human genetic material. That's why I hear a lot of stories of people getting like jerked off in their sleep by these aliens or having sex with these aliens. Perhaps they came and procreated with us thousands or millions of years ago, and they evolved into the form they are now, and we're still in this kind of hybrid stage, and they need to come back and regain some of our DNA, because, dude, you can see it happening. We're becoming more feminized, sperm counts are going down, women's fertility is being fucked with, birth rates are declining. So it's like, if you continue that trajectory out, we would evolve. Like, I feel like we're on this path of evolution to like caveman and monkeys that are fucking each other and reproducing rapidly, having offsprings of 10 and 15 people because some of them died. So now it's like, what is the average birth rate? We're going to this. I think we're evolving in that direction of like basically not of becoming genderless, sexless, like automatrons, honestly. And with the advent of AI and the ubiquitousness of entertainment and digital technology, it's like your interaction with the physical world is just becoming less and less. I think we're just evolving into these gray aliens with massive brains that are existing in like alternative dimensions in our mind. I think that's what we're becoming. If it's inevitable, I don't know. Anyway, what the fuck is going on? Week 11 of the cosmic calendar, 3.03 billion years to 3.3 billion years in the universe existence. Keynotes here. Galaxy dude, the same shit keeps popping up constantly. Galaxy mergers. Oh, this is the universe's adolescence. The galaxies are colliding. It's so violent. These violent collisions ultimately results in larger galaxies. As they continue to grow, they eventually collapse in on themselves within a supermassive black hole in the center of these galaxies. What is emitted from the supermassive black hole is a quasar, and these quasar winds result in the expulsion of chemical material that is released into the universe that allows the formation of all sorts of other cosmological features in the universe. Galaxies are continuing to grow and take on the shape that we see now. The fucking constant mention, you can like sense my frustration with the fucking research. It's just very repetitive, but I'll keep grinding through it just because I think it's good for me to A, read, I never read, and B, just like engage in boring investigative shit that's, doesn't come naturally to me. It's so much more natural for me to like chug some caffeine and go do some yoga and go work out rather than chug some caffeine and fucking read. But we're entering cosmic noon, finally, it appears. We've heard this term cosmic noon for fucking weeks now, it seems like, in this research, meaning the peak era of star formation in the universe's existence. So right around here, like in, it's called 3.5 billion years in the universe's existence. I think we're finally reaching peak star formation, more stars being formed at any other time in the universe's existence. And the number one thing, really the number one point I want to emphasize during this 3.0 billion years of the universe's existence to 3.3 billion years of the universe's existence, this is the red and dead era. Red and dead galaxies are appearing. So apparently this James Webb telescope that was launched, I don't know, like 2021, 2022, and this is like the big flashlight that I'm referring to. It's like we have all this information based on very rudimentary technology. We're sending these fucking satellites and shit, telescopes out in the space. It's like basically in our home neighborhood. It's like you're sending a satellite, if the entire world was dark and you step out into your driveway with a flashlight and do a 360 and you're like, oh, this is the planet Earth, your driveway. No, dude. The entire fucking globe needs to be lit up. You're going to discover a lot more. And I think that's kind of what we're doing, where we're at as a species in terms of learning where we are in this vastness of existence. But the James Webb telescope is revealing that entire galaxies with billions of stars were being formed, living, and dying in far deeper into the universe's history than we ever thought prior to the James Webb telescope, and are living much shorter than we ever thought. So we thought, for instance, in the past that it took billions of years for a full galaxy to form and then live and die. The James Webb telescope, for instance, is revealing that within less than a billion years, an entire galaxy with tens of billions of stars have formed and then died. Thus far, the most stark example of this is that the James Webb telescope has revealed that within 700 million years after the Big Bang, a galaxy with over 10 billion solar masses, stars, had formed and then already died within 700 million years. So within less than a billion years, a galaxy with tens of billions of stars had formed and died. And we used to call this red and dead phenomenon. Apparently the death, I believe, of these solar masses, of these galaxies, appears as red, like this red emission appears within the James Webb telescope. And I think this principle that This is just pushing back the timeline of everything. I promise you. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. I don't give a fuck, quite frankly. What matters to me is that this shit is in my head. I have OCD. I'm like constantly, if I don't smoke weed, I wake up and just have thoughts racing through my head from the minute my eyes open, and quite frankly, all during the night. And when I wake up, it's a piece, thoughts just constantly racing through my head. And so really this exercise, this podcast, whatever the fuck this is, it's really just more of like the release of a pressure valve of my own mind. I need to get this shit off my chest. I don't, quite frankly, give a fuck if anyone believes me or even really listens to it. What matters to me is I get this shit off my chest, and I get this shit down for the historical record for my own personal life, existence, and story, and whatever. It's a very selfish exercise. I'm trying to hold myself accountable to learning and hold myself accountable to expression so I don't go fucking insane. So what this tells me is that all of this is way older than we thought. The universe is way older than 14 billion years. I can promise you that without having any scientific knowledge or real ability to promise you that. Also, humanity is way older than we thought. Human beings in intelligent forms have been around way longer than we thought. It was not this excludes or includes whatever. This has nothing to do with alien genetic manipulation of primate DNA to create modern Homo sapiens. Just take standard fucking Darwin evolutionary model. It is not. I promise you, it is not a steady path from single-celled organism to Homo sapien today. Even without alien genetic manipulation. Just say that Darwin evolution is true. Let's just take that at face value. I can promise you, within the development of, or within the history of intelligent human-like forms on this earth, it has been much more rocky than that. As in, perhaps we evolved as humans or humanoid type creatures to one level of development, then something horrible happened. Either a comet hit the earth, there was some sort of cosmic burst from the sun, massive flooding, maybe alien invasion, whatever. We reached a point of technology. That's why you see pyramids and these incredible megalithic structures throughout Peru and throughout the world. These are evidence of advanced technology that we don't even have today. Something terrible happened, humanity crashed, and we had to build again. How many fucking times have we gone through that cycle? I don't know. But I can promise you, intelligent humans, intelligent humanoid beings, we're way more prevalent than we think. We think ourselves today in 2026 are like the peak of the evolutionary chain, that we said that are the apex predator in the history of the universe. And I can promise you that's not true. Not only are we not the apex predator in terms of like there being other extraterrestrial or other species, other life forms out there, we aren't even necessarily the apex predator on our own fucking planet, because there are species of human beings or whatever other life forms of some kind that existed prior to us. Or maybe it was standard Homo sapiens as we are now with this exact same DNA. We got to some point of high technology, and that doesn't mean we had fucking Ferraris. It's different. Let's say different. Equal, let's even call it equal, because I don't think it's like we had 2026 technology as we know it right now, and then it all disappeared and we just rediscovered the exact same technology. I think we had different, highly advanced technologies that we do not have today. That means maybe they didn't have washing machines and stoves. I'm just staring at the shit in front of me, and TVs and the internet. Maybe they didn't have those things, but they had other forms of technology that we didn't have today. So the progression of humanity is not just the steady growth, right? It is growth, but there are dips. There are crashes within the story of that humanity. We got to places of high development, then we crashed. We got to places of high development, and then we crashed. We got to places of high development, and then crashed. Who knows how many times? But I'm telling you, the story of our existence, the human story, is way older and more complicated than we initially thought. And the story of the universe is the same. And that noise. That's Bubbles, the dog barking. Also, at the same time that I'm saying this, I feel like I have to both pee and poop at the same time right now. I'm wondering if I should just call it, because that's pretty much all I really want to get off my chest. There's more I want to talk about. How long could I hold this shit? Let's go pee. How much are we into this? 24 minutes? That's all. I'll get some more personal shit off my chest. So yeah, that's the story. You're not going to go to... This is important, guys. I said that already, so I'm not going to see my dick. What if I just put my dick on Spotify and YouTube? What would happen? So you see my shower. Just going pee for now, although I really do have to expel other bodily materials.
Is that really it as far as cosmology? I guess that's it for now. For cosmology, for the cosmic calendar. That's week 3. The universe is way older than we think. This particular evidence that I'm pointing to, that the James Webb Telescope has discovered of galaxies with tens of billions of stars forming and dying within a billion years, I think is just, an initial piece of evidence to this theory that I have, that the universe is way older than we think. And we'll keep picking that up next week, week 12 of the cosmic calendar. We'll explore 3.3 billion years and 3.6 billion years of the universe's existence. Woo! Just like the pressure, we just need to get this shit off my chest. I need to get that pee out of my bladder just to feel better. And I think that's enough potty time for now. And we'll be able to add a few more minutes to this podcast talking about life. All right, so that's Cosmic Calendar. My personal life. This will be the last time probably I broadcast from this particular apartment. I've secured my own apartment, a little studio apartment here in Burbank, right on a super busy road, man. It's like, I've secured an apartment in Burbank. It's under market value. It's cheap. It's this fucking studio. It is what it is. It's actually perfect for me. It's a little complicated personally because I've been living with my girlfriend and now we're moving out together. We're not breaking up, but we are, separating physical space, which is a good thing, but also I think it's a good thing for where we are in this relationship. I think the next year of us staying together, this is the best arrangement for us for the next year of our relationship. And then we can see a year from now if we're ready to move back in together. But my lease starts today in that apartment. I'll probably start moving in this weekend, but it's my sister's birthday. My mama is in town. My sister lives in Ventura, which is about an hour and a half west of here, west of LA, just like directly west of LA, right on the beach. Cute little beach town. That's where my sister lives. That's where my mama is. Visiting her now. I'll probably head there either tonight or tomorrow morning to celebrate with my sister. Happy birthday, Morgan. 36 years on planet Earth. Well done. It gives me great pride to call you my little sister and to be your older brother. Seriously, it's a beautiful thing. Talk about the good things in life and all the beauty there is as well. It's a yin and yang existence, man. There's some crazy wild shit, but there's also a lot of beauty and awesomeness. And having an awesome little sister and a beautiful mother and a loving family is one of the beautiful aspects of being alive. And I'm doing my best to have a loving relationship with my romantic partner here, but that is, these are new tools that I'm developing, the ability to coexist with a romantic partner and not be a selfish person and be attentive and be a good listener and put other people's priorities ahead of your own, be communicative and all the things that I have not been very good at necessarily throughout my life and that I'm working on as a 38-year-old boy, man. Jiu-jitsu training continues, man. My back, I don't even want to say it. I talked about my back being injured last week. I don't want to acknowledge what it is. I really do think that back pain and all sorts of pain in the human body are psychological or psychosomatic, but it's getting, I guess, worse. It's definitely not getting better, but it's so strange, man, because I've had other little injuries, a tailbone injury this year, toe injuries. I've had plenty of injuries, not just in jiu-jitsu, but throughout my life. And like for me, the big calling card of an injury when you need to listen to is like, is it preventing you from performing? Is that injury, the pain, because ultimately pain is just like this mental thing, right? Pain is mental or like psychological. What matters to me is like function. Is the injury preventing you from performing? The weird thing with these back injuries, man, right? Allegedly, it's like your spine. You have a disc in your spine that erupts, and then it, like, that material that's been pushed out is like pushing against a nerve, and so that nerve is causing reference pain down your leg. So it's like the injury occurs in one part of the body, but it's causing pain in the other part of the body, which I could understand in concept, and I'm not like fully rejecting. And so I'm experiencing like pain, like a burning kind of sharp sensation in the bottom of my foot, kind of tightness down my hamstring, the back of my knee, like standard sciatica symptomology. But from what I can tell, like it hurts, it feels uncomfortable, it's certainly a distraction, but my actual performance isn't impacted. Whereas like if I had a fucking sprained toe, which seems relatively minor compared to a herniated disc, my actual it would impact my performance on the mats. It would impact my ability to do in kickboxing to strike because I would be less stable on my feet. It would definitely impact my ability to shoot a takedown in my wrestling, transitioning the fight from standing to the floor. It absolutely would impact my jiu-jitsu on the ground because this is just a toe, I would say, because you're like, your toes are getting backwards, you're pushing off your toes. Even with the tailbone injury, it definitely impacted my jiu-jitsu. It didn't really impact my striking, but definitely impacted my jiu-jitsu because I was terrified to get taken down and land on my ass. I wasn't sure if that was going to make it worse. Any sort of, like, I would always want to be on top on the ground, like try to obtain top position rather than like playing guard from my back in a contest. With this leg, man, or not even leg, with this back injury, it's painful. It's more painful than those injuries, in fact. But it's not like I'm dragging my foot. It's not as if my left leg isn't responding. It's not as if my back is not able to bend. It's not as if I'm not able to stand up. I'm still like, dude, I'll go from the ground, have a dude on my back who weighs 180 pounds be able to stand up with that person on my back from the ground, like from seated. So I'm constantly doing stuff that's putting shit on my spine so I can understand where the injury came from. But I don't know, man. I'm not convinced. In my experience with these injuries, like I said, reading the book by Dr. John Sarno, who has a number of books, God rest his soul, man, I think it's kind of psychosomatic. I think the injury does exist, obviously, but I don't think it is... What am I saying? I think the injury does exist. I think the actual pain symptoms are a bit of a distraction. I think the injury has existed. I think the pain starts to emerge when other areas of your life are becoming particularly complicated. And your body then goes to that pain to say, oh, you got this pain. Like, your body just wants you kind of like, your body and mind just kind of want you churning along on this path, whatever it is. Or not, you're a 9 to 5 or going to work, you're just raising your kids. Your body like just wants you to be a machine churning along this path. And when there's all these other distractions outside your life, you have issues with your girlfriend, you're having financial issues, you want to get a new apartment, you're unsatisfied with your job, whatever it may be, then that requires a lot of work. That requires a lot of like stopping, a lot of reflection, a lot of stepping back, a lot of like maybe stepping off the path to address these other issues. But your body, I think your mind can then use that pain to pull you right back into your body to keep yourself on the straight and narrow. Like, don't address those issues over here. Don't address all those issues that you've been thinking about. Stay out of those big ethereal issues that might cause you your deviation from the course, and just stay right focused here in the body. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, or if I haven't read these books in a long time, but I don't know, that's just been my experience. That the pain is there. The pain, you are actually feeling the pain. The injury is there, but it's not an existential threat. Your body will eventually heal itself. And the real injury is like this mental obsession with the injury. And that if you're just able to accept that your body is this magical healing machine and have faith in that and continue engaging in the physical activity that you find meaningful, your body will heal itself and you'll get yourself back on the right path. The only reason I vouch for this is because I've had multiple MRIs on my spine since my early 20s. So over the past 15 years, I've had multiple MRIs on my spine. They always reveal herniated disc. Always. It's not as if the herniation goes away. So in theory, the pain should be constant, but it's not. The pain is constant when I'm obsessed with the pain, and I'm thinking about the pain and thinking I'm injured. And that pain tends to spike up in periods of heightened stress. So I've started working full time. My girlfriend and I have decided we need to move out. I have this pending world championships in jiu-jitsu coming up. I got to find a new apartment. I'm feeling the financial strains of living in LA for 6 months. even though I do have a good job that like I enjoy, I know it's not a long-term thing. There's these big questions of life that I have not addressed. And really all I'm doing I'm like putting blinders on rather than taking a step back and like addressing these bigger questions of life. I'm just kind of putting these blinders on and going day to day through my day-to-day reality. I think that's what your body wants. So it's a major risk, right? Because if I continue pushing it, I could perhaps exacerbate the injury, make it worse, cause some sort of permanent damage. But in my experience, if you do push through, if you do ignore the pain, don't ignore pain if it's causing a decrease in your functionality, a decrease in your performance. So if you pull something if you pull your hamstring and you go out and try to run a mile and you literally can't extend your hamstring as far, or you can't like lift your leg as much, that's one thing. If you break your toe and then you're trying to like shoot for takedowns and you can't because you can't push off the toe, that's one thing. But if you herniate a disc and then have like reference pain in the bottom of your foot and your foot feels like there's like a knife in the bottom of it and it's on fire, but it's not stopping you from running. It's not like my shots are less powerful, my kicks are less powerful. My performance is the same. So what is the injury really? Is it just like a psychological, like what is the injury? If my body's performing the same, then ultimately the injury is nothing more than a psychological phenomenon. Does this make sense? I might sound more crazy than I've ever said in my life. But there's been books written about it, and when I've read those books, it's taken away my pain. I haven't gone back and read the books for this particular injury, but this is probably the fourth time in my life where herniated disc, which have existed for 15 years in my back, and if I go to a doctor now, it'll be there, just like they were here 15 years ago. But then why haven't I experienced pain throughout the past 15 years, constantly? Why am I only experiencing pain during heightened times of stress? And why, in my experience over the past 15 years, if I stop engaging in whatever physical activity I am in and try to address the problem, like treat the symptoms with physical therapy or something, the pain doesn't go away. But if I continue to push through and basically ignore the pain because my function and my performance is the same, the pain goes away. And that's kind of the path I'm on now. But I'm not going to lie, after like a week of doing this, the pain's not going away, but my performance is still the same. I am still worried about it, and this is why I'm fucking rambling on it now. I don't know if y'all give a shit at all. All that being said, I want to do World Championships a month from now. The registration deadline is the 22nd. I'm just going to keep pushing it for the next few weeks to see how my body responds. It's just kind of after how I had to roll the dice. All the while, I'm going to be moving into my new apartment. I'm also under like tight-ish financial constraints right now just because of all the cost of moving back to LA, not having a job for the first 3 or 4 months while I was here, living with my girlfriend, now finding my own place, the deposit for the own place, buying all the new stuff for the new place. I have money in the bank and I have investments. I've had to sell some of those off just to survive this year. I'm now at a point where like I'm not doing that anymore and I'm subsisting off my income. But these tournaments aren't cheap. I also don't want to do double tournaments, so it's like double the registration fees. It's also in Vegas. It's also over the course of a weekend, of course, several days. It's going to be lodging. I don't want to I don't know. This is my podcast. I'm just being honest about my personal existence. Financially, it's not exactly the best time for me to drop $1,000 to $1,500 on this tournament. So I'm just being honest about the fact that I'm having doubts about whether or not I should engage in pushing my spine to the limits over the next few weeks in preparation for this tournament, because we're really going to have to ramp it up over the next 3 weeks, my training, the intensity of the training, and then also the financial considerations, also moving into the apartment. But I'm not throwing in the towel now. I am just kind of like, I'm second guessing it, and I'm just being completely transparent about that, because that's what I do when I plug in this fucking microphone with no fucking plan and just start rambling. Sports, dead time of sports. I'm behind on UFC. I'm watching UFC Oklahoma City. It's the event after McGregor's fight. I guess baseball's going on. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. Football season's coming up. We'll get fired up for football, I suppose. I don't know, man. I'm on this journey obsessed with the cosmic calendar. I'm definitely not. That's going to be my priority even during football season. But I would like to get the fellows back on during football season. I really miss, dude. I don't have any fucking friends. I'm gonna be like, I don't have any friends. I have dudes in jiu-jitsu that I hang out with, but there's no one in LA that I'm like broing out with on a regular basis. My buddy Anthony, I watch UFC. I watch like the numbered card once a month. I go over to his place and we watch UFC together. But I have my girlfriend. I have dudes at the gym. But the only person socially I hang out with like socially, go out to dinner with and hang out with is my girlfriend. And then my buddy Anthony once a month. So I don't know why I'm talking about that, but I miss the bros, even just on Zoom. I miss the bros. And just a goal for myself as well. I need to get settled in like living in LA right now without JoJo and Emmy feels like I'm just living in my girlfriend's home, if I'm being quite honest. It doesn't really feel like my home, and I don't want to live in LA long term. So I don't feel a ton of like motivation to form an extensive social network or whatever, like put down roots. I kind of feel like this 1 year lease I just signed is like my last hurrah in LA for the next year. I would like to be out of here by the time I'm 40. This lease in this apartment, I'll be almost 39 and a half by the time this lease runs up. So hopefully we can start making tangible efforts to get out of LA over the next year. Man, the city could be so cool, but it is so deeply mismanaged by politicians. There's also this feeling in me that like, dude, you're here for a reason. You need to get involved politically with this city because it is so deeply mismanaged, and the amount of money that is being spent, the amount of taxpayer money that is being spent to quote unquote keep this city up, man, it is unbelievable the results that we would have. The fact that you would have rampant homelessness and like zombie communities, entire like swaths of the city, entire neighborhoods in the city are completely infested by fentanyl zombies is entirely fucking unacceptable in modern America. Like the libertarian utopia where no one's paying taxes and there are no social services, and we basically live in like this anarcho-capitalist world where there are no social services and everyone's kind of on their own. You would think that is the world we're living in. The fact, like you think of like, okay, we're not going to have any, the government's not going to pay for anything. There's no free healthcare. There's no free education. There's no free roads. You know, it's basically every man for himself. And you would think in that sort of world, which is kind of like the libertarian anarcho-capitalist utopia or whatever, you would think the result of that would be the world we live in now. We have entire neighborhoods in LA that are overrun by fentanyl zombies. That would seem like the anarcho-capitalist world. Then you have entirely other neighborhoods that are perfectly manicured mansion neighborhoods. So you have like these very like haves and have-nots world. That seems like it would be the anarcho-capitalist libertarian utopia or whatever, dystopia, whatever. But instead we're spending millions and millions, billions and billions, trillions and trillions of dollars of taxpayer money to like maintain society, yet we still have entire neighborhoods of fentanyl zombies. So it's like, dude, I think we could get the same result with zero taxpayer dollars, or certain like a 50% reduction in taxpayer money. I think we cut taxes of all kinds in half. I think we'd have the exact same results that we have now. I think that half is just being basically lit on fire, spent in inefficient ways, and being embezzled in fraudulent ways. So, always good to end on my libertarian rants. I feel like I'm reaching the end here of the road. I think that's it. Gonna move in this new place this week. Continue grinding in the jiu-jitsu mats. Yeah, and continue my study and investigation of the cosmic calendar. Always keeping an open mind on all this shit. I believe that's it. I love you all. I love all human beings. I love all beings. I don't harbor hate or resentment in my heart towards anyone. I can be a very angry person, an opinionated person, but I do believe in love and goodness. At the same time, also believing in the existence of evil. But I genuinely believe that goodness and love that is in all of us will win out, can win out, and will win out. But I don't think it's like guaranteed. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to like kind of cultivate, recognize, activate that goodness and love with all of us on a daily basis and allow it to manifest itself in the longer term living of all of our lives. Like the accumulation of love and goodness on a daily basis from within us over the long-term projection of a human life can leave a lasting impact of goodness on this existence. So goodness does exist too, but it's incumbent upon all of us as free acting beings to exude love and goodness rather than hate and badness. So be loving and good to the greatest extent possible. I love you all. I will speak to all of you soon. Namaste.